Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to our channel and thanks for logging on. Today, we're describing, discussing, and dissecting the big and boisterous Breitling Breitlight Avenger Hurricane, 50mm in bright light, ultralight case material. You can see and you can purchase this unique in-house caliber 24-hour format chronograph on our website. Subscribe to our YouTube channel if you enjoy these videos. And please click on the card in the upper right-hand corner of the screen at any time during this video to see this extreme sports watch with additional accessories included in the sale, high-resolution images for your desktop, and naturally complete pricing details for this Breitling Avenger Hurricane in bright light. Now, bright light is a unique material, first seen at Bezel World 2016, where incidentally I first encountered the prototype of this watch. Bright light is effectively a high-tech polymer compound, basically a plastic. It's a resin plastic that gives the watch extremely light wrist presence, so eyes closed, this could be a 40mm watch. It really is almost unnervingly light. It's also stark, all black, with yellow highlights. The watch is clearly designed to grab attention and be provocative. Love it or hate it, either way Breitling will have achieved its goal. Now on my 16cm circumference wrist, you can see the 50mm case is beyond bonkers. It's secure and it's comfortable, but with a lug-to-lug dimension of 60.8mm across the wrist, you're either going to have to get comfortable with the idea that your watch is going to dwarf your arm, or you need an arm to suit. I believe the watch can be worn securely with the strap cut down and sized on my 16cm wrist, albeit with an immense amount of lug overlap, and you can see it to good advantage from this angle. So if big is the style and big is better for you, this watch might be a good match, because again, you won't find a lighter giant watch anywhere in high horology. Now this watch is thick. You could almost miss it given that it's so wide. It looks thin proportionally, but it's 17mm thick. This is a watch that boggles the imagination on several levels. There's the look of it and then there's the feel of it. The feel of it is actually quite pleasant. It features what's known as the military strap. I do chuckle a little bit of that. As a former Navy guy, I can't say I ever saw anything like this in standard issue, but with textile on the top, natural vulcanized rubber on the bottom, and large channels to allow the wrist to aerate, it is well designed. Now, it will be sized to suit, that is, cut to match its owner, but there is a micro-adjust mechanism, a slider, that's built into the clasp itself, and you can actually move it in and out in small increments, as your wrist may expand or contract on hot days, cold days, periods of activity or inactivity, and of course, the clasp itself is made of bright light, though the swing arm itself is made of titanium. Close it up. This is a twin trigger release system. It's one of Breitling's upscale clasps, rendered in the miracle material. Now the case is stark. There's not a whole lot to differentiate the different components. There's a sort of composite texture to the bright light that's interesting and breaks up the expanse of black, but there's nothing approaching a contrasting satin or polished finish that you see on conventional luxury watches. What you will see is a large dive-style bezel. In spite of the watch's aeronautical pretensions, it's quite easy to line the minute hand up with the luminescent pearl, and because it is unidirectional, you could even use it for light-duty diving, as the watch is water-resistant to 100 meters. Now, you can see a couple of features of the dial stand out. First, legibility is excellent, but in a 24-hour format. The white-on-black contrast is superb, and it is a matte black to resist glare. That's one of the advantages of bright light. Being a matte material, it's not going to glare in your face, it's not going to reflect in distracting ways. From a utilitarian standpoint, the watch actually makes sense. Now, if you are keeping 24-hour time, this watch will aid your cause, as it's easy to read the hour hand, which moves around the dial in single sweeps every 24 hours. There is a 12-hour version of the watch available, but this is the original, and in my opinion, a watch so bonkers needs a dial to match, and the 24-hour scale achieves that. Now, it's also a chronograph. It uses Breitling's in-house caliber B12, a 24-hour format derivative of the B01, 70-hour power reserve, a vertical clutch for crisp column wheel, for stagger-free starting, pardon me there, and constant operation. The vertical clutch lets you keep the chronograph running on a continuous basis without any additional wear, tear, or hazard. And because there is no play in the system, unlike a lateral clutch, when you start a vertical clutch chronograph, there's absolutely no jump, there's no stagger when you stop it, and it always resets precisely to the index at 12, because once again, there are no meshing teeth and no play in the system. So the column wheel is what you're hearing and what I'm feeling. Old school way of creating a chronograph, actually an old school Breitling way of creating a chronograph dating back to the first quarter of the 20th century, and then the vertical clutch letting you just keep it running. Now it does feature a discrete date window which gets downright lost in the maze of calibrations on the dial, and I should mention that the watch does feature a quick set date function, so you can rapidly cycle the date. I know I hid it underneath the chronograph seconds hand. There it is right there. And you can rapidly cycle it to correct the watch should it run down or encounter an irregular length month. Moreover, there is a hacking seconds function. Pull the crown out. You do stop the constant seconds hand at 9 o'clock to synchronize precisely to a reference timer. So if you are using this watch to stand the watch, you'll be able to synchronize with your buddy and your relief. Now you can see the watch features a solid caseback, as do most Breitling watches. And like almost everything else about the watch, it's executed in bright light with a unique proprietary screw standard. This is something I haven't seen on other Breitling watches, and it appears to be a fixture unique to the Breitlight case construction. This is a watch that's different on many levels, though the spirit of the thing is modern Breitling being oversized and seemingly designed to draw attention like lightning to a rod. Nevertheless, it is a little bit different and a little bit quirkier than the others, far more memorable and individualistic. It's a unique concept among modern Breitling watches, not in the size, but in the character. With an in-house caliber, a unique and highly readable dial, and let's face it, a completely singular wrist presence thanks to the Breitlight. This is one that deserves your consideration if you're shopping for a bigger and better sports watch than what you're wearing now. At the very least, I can guarantee you it will be bigger. It might be better in that the watch actually nods and winks at you. A luxury watch with a sense of humor, that you've got to see to believe. See it on our website.